All right, so now you should be able to see the Queens of Perimenopause. This is what it looks like. When you sign up, okay, so first of all, I think what might be happening is people try to look at it and they can't see anything because it's blurred out and they aren't sure what it is, so they don't go look at it any, they don't dig a little bit deeper. It's blurred out because it's a plus 18 profile. Um, I did that because, and not that, I don't think a lot of kids would be interested in looking at it, but honestly, we talk about some weird stuff. It's very personal. I think it's very personal, and you don't really want kids looking at this stuff anyway. They don't have the emotional regulation to understand what we're talking about. Maybe they don't want to know, or you don't want your kids to know, or, we don't want to overwhelm anybody. So you have to click that you're over 18, and then this is the main page. So the main page has my picture there because this is my stuff and it's all the classes that I've developed. But it's not my classes, just me. I bring in experts as well. So there's 8 expert lectures now. That's at the Queens of Perimenopause. That's the gold level where you get, it's a nurse practitioner, a medical doctor who specializes in menopause, a nutritionist, and many others, trying to cover like what our primary main concerns are. And those are worth the money because the ticket for the annual event is $99. And to get into the gold level is like 42 Canadian. So you're just gonna get your value for your money, like way more than you would think. And of course, somebody starts calling me, but I don't recognize the number. So what you want to do is when you get into the main page, look along the bottom for this home, collections, chat, membership, about. This is your gold mine. This is why I wanted to put everything on to the Queens of Perimenopause, because I can make it into a collection, which means you're not like farting around trying to find, I want to see, let's say in your mind, you're like, oh, she talked about a menopause doctor. I want to see the menopause doctor. Where is the menopause doctor? You're not just looking through a ton of posts trying to figure out stuff because there's over 50 things in here now. But you scroll down and you go classes. Those are the classes that I've designed. And then there's the first annual CPMS event and the second annual expert speakers, right? So these are classes. There's 4 in each. So if you wanted to see the medical doctor, you go into the second level, you click on that collection, it brings you up all 4 speakers. So Dr. Shafina Premje, she's in Calgary. She's delightful. She put together a beautiful little slideshow, as did everybody else. The naturopathic doctor is really good if you wanted to talk about or learn more about bioidentical hormones or what exactly a naturopathic doctor does. I work with different people who are working with naturopathic doctors, and I help them to stay on track because they'll check in with the naturopath probably about every 3 months, which is quite a length of time in between visits, whereas they can see me every 3 weeks. And then I will tell them, okay, look, send her a quick message. A lot of them have like mini appointments or free check-ins if you just want to ask a quick question about something. The pelvic health physiotherapist, she was amazing. And I would say buy gold just to get to see her diagrams of the female anatomy. Hers are the best diagrams I've ever seen. Very informative. And she even helped us to do our Kegel exercises, but correctly, which is really important. And then this is one of my most popular lectures, weight management. And I go through exactly what I have done to maintain my weight. So I joined the gym. It'll be 10 years in October that I joined the gym, and I weigh the exact same amount that I did when I started, except I have much more stamina and much more muscle strength. So that's important to know, but maybe you look in there and you go, oh, that's not exactly what I was looking for. Scroll back up and do the back button. Go back into the collections. Here's all your collections. And then you go, okay, well, it was an expert speaker, but maybe it's in this one, the first annual event. There's me talking about holistic care. And we have a nutritionist. Now, Madeline is amazing. Her lecture on really simple things that you can add into your diet or remove from your diet that make a huge difference to how you're feeling. And she has a cookbook that's amazing. I love it. You should check that out for sure. And Amanda Cameron, she talked about the history of HRT, what went wrong with it, and then exactly what you can get in Canada, and explained how she works with clients as a nurse practitioner. So nurse practitioner is a prescribing practitioner, but they do check you a little bit more often. I think she's also a 3 months check-in. I worked with her with one of the clients that I had, and it worked really, really well having me do the 3 week check-in and then having Amanda every 3 months. And then Erin talked all about acupuncture, what you can do with Chinese medicine, how their supplements work, their herbal treatments and acupuncture, and how she helps women come back into a place of balance. But maybe you look at all that and you say, okay, that's still not exactly what I was looking for. I want to know about, let's say you want a particular topic. Well, you can come on down even further and look at speakers. So I'm going to be bringing in speakers really regularly. There's only 2 videos in here right now. This is at the free level. These are speakers that came into the group and talked to us previously. So Naomi Harris is a naturopathic doctor who's living, I think, in the Netherlands right now. And she talked a lot about pleasure. So that's really important. That's the super important topic. And I think that for us, it gets lost a lot of the time because we're in pain and having troubles and difficulty with a lot of different areas of our life. So that's a really good lecture. And I think we tried to keep it to a half an hour. And then the hormone nurse, everybody needs to watch this lecture. This lecture is really, really simple, easy. But she covers a ton of things that we're gonna, potentially make a huge difference to how you're feeling. And it certainly did for me. So if you have speakers that you'd like me to bring in, I just talked to someone last week about coming in to talk about brain fog. And I was thinking I would ask one of my other coach friends to talk about her experience with her doctor recently, because she's just going through a lot of the doctoring pain that we have where you're just having trouble getting your doctor to prescribe. But if you have any other thoughts about that, that's another benefit in the Queen's perimenopause. You can send me a message, I can reply to you. Everything along the side here. Now yours might look a little bit different because you don't, it's not your collection, but you can look at the library, you can look at the audience, you can look at the chats. There's chats in here. The chats are really a good resource. That's along the top here, chats. You can join for free. There's a way to join for free if you look underneath the big picture, and then there's the 3 dots. If you click on the 3 dots, now if I click on the 3 dots, you won't see it because this is mine. The least expensive is $20 a month, or 22, I think it worked out, because it's American funds and then they transmit it back to Canadian. It's kind of dumb, but that's how it works. And then we have office hours that I'm offering once a month. I've got one podcast in here. I'm going to put more of them because there are lots of podcasts that I've been a guest of and that other people have recommended. And then here is where the 21 days to fix your sleep is. So there's different levels. I gave everybody the first class for free. So if you join, you get the first class for free. If you're at the bronze level, you get the first 3 days. If you're at the silver level, you get the first week. And if you're at the gold level, you get all 21 days. So this one is free. Masterclass on fixing your sleep. It just kind of outlines a whole bunch of different things that you can do that would probably make a difference. And then you can try the first class and go from there. So what else did I want to show? Oh, here in the chat. So you can reply to these questions, or you can ask more questions. You can be in touch with me directly. Anytime I run a class, I'm going to be running a class not next week, but next month, first week of June. I haven't picked the date and time yet. I'll do a poll about that. I always like to ask what you would like to hear about, right? So for example, I had someone asking a very specific question in the group about seed cycling, and what to do when they're trying to help their cycle to regulate. And that's a really complicated question, right? And it's not going to be for everyone, and it's not going to be applicable for every for all time anyway. Eventually you will lose your cycle. But that's the kind of thing where you could say, hey, talk about seed cycling, and then I can put that into my class. Or what was the other one? Cycling progesterone. I get asked about that a lot too, because there's a lot of confusion about how it's done and whether it's necessary and all that good stuff, and if it actually helps with the period disruption and all that. So that is what I've got going on for you guys. I'm going to end this now, and I will talk to you in the group. Send me questions if you had them, and please join the Queens of Perimenopause and support my efforts to helping more women to help themselves. Thank you.